We are live. We're live from the Pyramid Contractor Studio. This is the Spotlight Omaha podcast where we take you around the city of Omaha, introduce you to local business owners, influential figures, and people who are making an impact on our community today. We are brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Pixel Fire Marketing is a locally owned marketing firm who specializes in website design, creating social media ads, and engaging your business online. For more details, check out pixelfiremarketing.com. Today, joining me inside of the Pyramid Contractor Studio today is Cody Guffey, the owner and operator of Rexius Nutrition West Dodge. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate that.
Hey, we've had several franchise owners in the studio over the past couple of months, and most of them are either new to the Omaha area or their next franchise owner close to them a couple states away. Rexius is really interesting in the fact that it's owned by multiple people, all kind of in the same city. Can you explain what you guys do at Rexius and kind of how you guys work as a team?
Yeah, so basically, what it all started out, like obviously Rexius started here in Omaha. The flagship store is 120th and Center, and it grew from there. At one point in time, all the stores here in Omaha were not franchises. They were corporate. They were then eventually sold off. Tim wanted to downsize his workload with all of his other businesses and stuff like that. Basically, Rexius Nutrition, the way we approach it is we're not your normal supplement store. We want to be the most knowledgeable. We do all of our very much due diligence on products we bring in, everything like that. But really, like, our bread and butter is that we are knowledgeable. We're never going to beat the internet. Internet will always be undefeated.
Sure. This thing called Google's taken off.
Yeah. So where we come in is just that knowledgeable staff and knowing that you're not going to be upsold and stuff like that. Like, we're not looking at ticket values or anything like that. We're literally looking at what's going to help you get the goals to achieve the goals that you have set out for. So there's many times that I've talked to customers out of products that their friends told them they need.
Sure.
And I'll be like, that doesn't actually fit. So like, we really it's not about the money. It's just about helping everybody. So.
And that's an interesting point, because I think from the 10,000 foot view, I think physical training and gym memberships and I think it's a niche market, and I think there's a lot of people that would look at the supplement side of things and maybe just be confused at bottles on a wall, right? How much of your day-to-day job as an owner in this business is walking up to somebody, hey, asking what are you looking for, and then kind of directing them in the right direction?
I mean, I don't know what the percentage would be, but yeah, usually with a customer comes in, hey, what are we looking for? Some people have an idea of what they want. Oh, I need to get some sort of fat burn or some metabolite, whatever, maybe a protein content, something like that. But then you get that customer that comes in, it's like, I'm just new to the gym, or I'm just getting back to it. Where do we go from here? I don't know what I should take. What should I go from there? So then we just kind of piece it together. Like, what do your vitamins look like? What does your sleep look like? The factors that a lot of people don't take into consideration is what we try to approach.
What do you think is the most commonly asked question or type of customer you get?
Basically like your general wellness people. A lot of people that are just looking to, again, just got back in the gym or looking to just take that actual step, or maybe they're missing gaps or something like that. So it's just, we want to give them the knowledge to understand, be the most efficient, the most successful, and in a timely manner. Because when it comes to weight loss, obviously healthy and proper weight loss, or even muscle gaining, stuff like that, it does take a little bit of time. So you need to, temper expectations. We live in a world of, Wegovy and, Ozempic and all that. So
Sure.
People just want fast, not understanding, the health
that could be very unhealthy. Yeah.
Yes, the health ramifications that come into that. So it's one of those deals that
Is that a struggle for you guys Hollywood has always been this glorified, unrealistic expectation for what the human body is supposed to look like, right? But now you've got these fast track drugs that have really been dangerous at times, to your point, but people do see results, and sometimes the results are all they're focused on, not necessarily the process. And to your point, the health cautions that come with that fast of a weight loss. Is that a struggle for you guys in the industry right now?
Yeah, I would say it's to a level a struggle, in the fact of, like, obviously everybody wants fast results without acknowledging what it is. Not that I want to paint with a broad brush to say anything with as it pertains to just say your Ozempics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is most individuals who are going to lean to something like that to try to get fast results in that. I mean, granted, they've probably had, failures in weight loss and stuff like that,
Sure.
A long time, but they haven't really set the base or good habits to lead to weight loss and to maintain that weight loss as well. You're leaning on a pharmaceutical to do the job for you, but you haven't developed
Still eat
habits.
Burger King twice a day.
Yeah. And at some point you're going to stop taking it. At some point these things are going to happen. At some point whatever's going to happen, and then you haven't made those good habits. So then we're right back to where we were.
Tom Brady once said that he enjoys the process of preparing for the game more than he enjoys the game himself. Yeah. And obviously what you guys do is very process oriented. How hard is it to get people to tell you about the light at the end of the tunnel, where they want to get to, but explain to them that, hey, the process is the important part? Is that something you guys have a focus on? How receptive are people for that information?
Yeah, that is definitely something we have a focus on. Like, because again, you want to temper expectations and understand like what all goes into it. I try to like when I have a customer come in, I always want to see what does your workout regimen look like? What is your are you on a meal plan? What does your eating look like? Are you tracking it? What does your sleep look like? It's a lot of questions that usually they're not prepared to ask.
How many, just a ballpark percentage, how many people are usually have that information readily at hand? Is it often far and few between?
I would say far and few between.
Okay.
That or they got something that they saw on social media.
Sure.
Which, obviously, if you don't know the knowledge, you're going to get whatever has been presented to you.
And if some lady on TikTok told you, it must be true.
Exactly. and that's the hard part. We're also, we're dealing with the social media world, the instant reactions, the instant everything, the grab everything. And you're dealing with, 20-some-year-olds on social media that really know how to curate their stuff and make it look really cool.
Sure.
But they're not giving you the proper
Photoshop's
information.
Great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the best. They're not giving you the proper information or the proper understanding, because it's easy. So when I was in my 20s and I was working out and stuff like that, I was bulletproof. I didn't have to recover. I didn't have all these things. But now that I'm in my mid 30s, things hurt. Yeah, things hurt. My body hurts. Like I have different stressors in my life that these younger kids just don't understand. Right. Obviously, as a business owner, people out there with careers, stuff like that, kids, so on and so forth. These are factors.
Yeah, absolutely.
These play into your cortisol levels. These play into your stress. These play into your sleep cycles. Sleep is massive. People do not quite understand the effects of sleep on weight loss, muscle gain, just overall health, the whole nine there. So, yes, you're constantly, battling with people that are just throwing things out there for likes and attention.
Yeah. That's a struggle for you personally?
I don't love it.
Yeah.
I don't love it because I can look at it and I know they're wrong. And I know there's a lot of people out there that just don't have the information. And they don't have the knowledge. It's not that they're dumb or anything like that. They're just...
They'd rather sound right than be right.
Yeah. They just, the person on social media is trying to get clicks.
Yep.
So they're trying to be an influencer.
And you're trying to help people be healthy.
Yeah. And the people out there who are watching it or seeing it, and they're just like, oh, well, that sounds right. Well, they don't know otherwise. And that's the thing. So it's really just trying to educate people truly how it is, truly what the process looks like, and like little things that we can fix.
I don't think anybody would doubt that you're obviously very passionate about this, about weight loss and fitness and being healthy. Where do you think that passion comes from for you?
As you mentioned earlier with the process. So I was a football player through high school, through college, played at Wayne State.
Did you play for Lamonji?
I did not. He actually took over.
After?
Yeah.
Okay,
Coach O was who I had.
Sure.
He retired, and Lamonji literally took over the year after I left. But I loved training. Mm-hmm. I love the process. Yeah. I love the process of football. I was never a God-given athlete and stuff like that. I just worked really hard, which
still goes a long way. Yeah.
Yeah, got me to my successes. So luckily I had to work hard. So to understand those things, and I love the training. I love everything that went into it. I love, changing stuff like that. And those little pieces. It was almost to the point that one year I decided I was going to go out for track, throw shot and disc. I lasted 2 weeks because
a lot harder than it looks.
Well, it wasn't even so much that. It was, I missed training for football.
Because it's different.
Yeah.
Very different.
We had our off season training and stuff like that. And I'm out there throwing shot and disc, and it just wasn't fun, going and throwing squats up and going and deadlifting and stuff like that.
Moving somebody off their spot.
That mattered more to me, and that's something that I just enjoyed more because again, I love the process and everything that goes into it.
We're catching up with Cody Guffey here, owner of Rexius Nutrition West Dodge, on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing inside of the Pyramid Contractors studio. When we talk about, you brought it up a minute ago, and when you're not bulletproof anymore, and you can't go out and drink till 2 a.m. and get up and squat 500 pounds at 8 a.m.
Nope. Those days are long gone.
How much do people necessarily understand that process because I'm sure you've worked with somebody who's 28 through being 32 to 33, and there is a difference. How much are people willing to accept, hey, you're not 21 years old anymore, and this is how you have to treat your body differently? Is that a hard conversation to have with some people?
Oddly enough, no. I mean, when you're dealing with athletes or former athletes, there's that little period as they get older to understand that you can't quite do the things that you used to, where your body just doesn't react the way it used to. Really, former athletes, there's just a little period that's like that. But for the most part, a lot of my clients are Gen Pop that I train, and a lot of people I deal with are your general population. So like they understand the aging process and they understand their body hurts.
Yeah.
It's the athletes and stuff like that usually have a hard time coping with. Well, I'm slow. I'm a step slower now. My body hurts now. This joint doesn't move like it used to. Like so.
What is do you have a favorite success story? Is there something that's come in? And you don't have to use a name if you don't want to, but just that kind of learned the process, was willing to accept it, and took it and run with it.
Yeah, I had a gentleman come in actually relatively when I first bought the store, the West Dodge location. He came in and wanted to lose some weight and stuff like that, but he was really, really committed to it. Like he came in, he's like, saw my doctor, got my blood work, got everything. He's like, I'm ready for this. I need to do this. So we got him set up, focused on his health, like all the little markers more than it was anything. Understanding your protein intake, understand your sleep, understand your cortisol, your stress, all those things, your vitamins and stuff like that. So we really focused a lot on that. And then did kind of like a weight loss plan. I've been a personal trainer since 2011. So like obviously I have that knowledge as well. So we just started working on things like that. He would track his stuff. He'd send it over to me. I'd look it over. I'm one of those people that if you're willing to put in the work, I'll put in the work.
Sure.
So I will match you. So, and it's, and he wound up dropping almost 100 pounds. So
that's incredible.
That was really, really cool. So stuff like that. And then like in my personal training world, one of my clients, I still have him to this day. I've been training him for almost the whole time I've been a personal trainer. So since 2011, wow. He's a older gentleman. He's in his 70s. His big thing is just, he wants to function.
Yeah. Be able to walk.
His mom's in her 90s and she's in a nursing home. So he goes to the nursing home a lot and he sees all the individuals there and he just doesn't want to do that. Yeah. He's retired. So we just focus on his mobility, his balance, obviously a little bit of strength training and their flexibility. Yeah. Just basically making sure he functions. Like I'm not out here killing him, putting him through crazy burpee workouts, stuff like that. We're literally just making sure.
He's not putting 400 up on the rack.
We're just making sure his body just keeps moving. Yeah. So, and he's over the moon about it. He puts me over all the time about it just because like he's out there doing yard work. He's out there doing every stuff. He's like, I just see all these people with walkers and I don't have to worry about that. So yeah. So he'd probably be my other one. It's just cool to see that he's out here still doing his thing just because.
What's the biggest difference between working with men and women as far as physical training?
The biggest difference I would say would be, females are very, very like hard focused on the number on the scale.
Sure.
And just the little things. Weight loss is not linear. So they have a hard time coping with the fact that, I lost 2 pounds this week. I didn't lose any this week. Or maybe I went up just a little bit without factoring in, hormones and stuff like that. Those little things I've come to notice they get discouraged very easily. Mm-hmm. So you have to really try to mitigate that and really just explain to them why this could have happened, why this is what we're looking at and stuff like that. And that's probably what I would say is just women just have usually a tendency to get discouraged, whereas men are a little bit more like,
what's usually the biggest struggle for men?
For men, it's understanding their body fully and that they need the sleep and they need the recovery and they need to do like stretching and stuff like that. A lot of guys, me included, are very just put your head down and go forward.
Yeah.
Without factoring in anything else, which is also not the right approach. I myself have not focused on my flexibility as much as I probably should have.
Okay.
So now I'm paying for that.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to, work on things like that. I always say that I'm a glorified meathead. I mean, I just know, throw weights on, stuff like that. But now I've had to
identifying yourself correctly is important.
Yeah. But now, going forward, like again, being in my mid 30s, like there's different aspects. Like I don't do the crazy kill myself leg days anymore. I still train hard and stuff like that. Want to keep my strength up, but it's a lot more
maxing out is less important.
Yeah. It's much more functionality and stuff like that now. So it's.
Just because she just called me and she know now I know she's watching. So Allison Teagues is a friend of mine. She owns a yoga studio. We talk about different forms of working out and taking care of your body and flexibility. When there's discussion about throwing weights up on a rack, doing yoga, cardio, things like that. How do you kind of prioritize in your day-to-day life, just for you personally, the importance of flexibility versus muscle gain, weight loss, things like that? What are those how do you prioritize those things, and how do you help explain that process to your clients?
Me now, like these days, I'm trying to like prioritize like my sleep and stuff like that, how I'm feeling. I'm more cognizant of my body. Whereas once upon a time it'd be, oh, I feel like crap, or like everything hurts. Well, let's just push through. Now I know the actual like red flags. Like, you know what? Like maybe today just ain't the day. Like I was supposed to do legs yesterday. My body was very stiff, very tight, and it was very achy.
Is it tough for you to be able to shut it down?
Once upon a time it was. Okay. I've gotten a lot better now about it. Just because I've pushed things too far and I've, caused more issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But again, yesterday it turned into what was supposed to be a leg day workout became foam rolling and mobility.
Sure.
Just because I needed that more than I needed anything. Everything was too tight. You have to understand, am I going to be able to get quality out of this?
Sure.
And
doing something for the process of doing it.
Given what my body felt like yesterday and where I was at, I wouldn't have got a good quality leg workout.
Sure.
I was better off working on flexibility and, rolling things out and stuff like that. So
you have another passion that's not necessarily Rexius nutrition or physical training. You've done some professional wrestling.
I've done some professional wrestling.
Have you always been a fan? Is that where it came from?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've been a diehard wrestling fan for a very long time. Obviously fell out of watching it like through like college and stuff like that, but it's always been a backbone.
The John Cena era.
I wasn't around for a lot lot
Yeah.
I mean, I watched it back the OG John Cena when he was, rapping and such.
Sure.
I remember when John Cena was a heel. So
it was a thing, kids. Ask your parents about it.
It did happen. But yeah, no, I've loved it my whole life. It's actually kind of a funny joke that like I tell my mom. She comes to all my shows. She's incredibly at sport. But she used to always say as a kid, it's a phase.
Sure.
He'll fall out. I was obsessed with wrestling.
Yeah.
Like wrestling shirts, action, all of it, obsessed.
Yeah.
She's like, it's a phase. He'll come out of it. His phase, he'll come out of it. And I remember the night that I debuted at Magnum, I remember afterwards I talked to her, I go, hey, remember when you said this was a phase?
It's here to stay.
And yeah, so it's just always been something that's there. I'm very passionate about it. I love it. It's art. It's
Absolutely.
Creative.
What did the process look like for you to get broke into the business? Like who trained you and what was that like?
My mentor and the guy that trained me was Jason Strife. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us.
Yeah.
But he trained me, and actually my class was 12 people in there.
Okay.
Yeah, 12 when I came in. And then my two friends were retaking the class, which are current Magnum wrestlers, Jameson McGregor and then Nino Hatchett. And so they had already taken the class. I came in. There was also 12 other people in there.
Sure.
Well, as soon as we got to the falling down,
throwing yourself on the mat,
and the hard stuff.
It's not a trampoline, folks.
It is not, guys. Yeah. I promise you, it's not. People just fell off one by one.
Yeah.
And then it just came down to me and my two buddies. So it was just us running
throwing
matches.
Each other at the mat.
Yeah. So we got hyper focused and stuff like that. And then Strife really took us under his wing after we had graduated.
He's pretty good at that.
Yeah, he saw he really saw the hunger in us, and I think he saw us as like the next generation, because there's a lot of people who say they're wrestling fans. They're like, "Oh, that looks cool. I want to do that," and they don't understand what it takes to do it and actually do it at a quality level. And we were all just really hungry, so I think he recognized that. He liked us, so then he just
also helps.
Yeah, so he just took us under his wing, and we were inseparable for the first year of wrestling. We did not take a booking or a trip without him. So we were always there. He was always there to tell us how bad we were, and he was the old school coach type. He was not going to tell you positives. He was going to break you down, and then through that kind of, which helped me because I come from football.
Sure.
I'm used to that from coaches.
Yeah, you're used to it hurting.
Yeah, if I had a coach like praising me and like saying nothing but nice things, like I would think you're disingenuous. Exactly. I would stop listening and stuff like that, just because that's just not reality.
We're catching up with Cody Guffey here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing inside the Pyramid Contractors studio. You mentioned it. Unfortunately, we lost Jason a year ago, and Magnum has kind of gone on anyway. Who are some of the people that are kind of helping Magnum Pro Wrestling still continue in Omaha, and why should people check out a show?
They should check out it. Well, so he handed it to a few people. He left it in his will and stuff like that. I help out heavily. There's 5 of us that help out heavily. There's a creative team that we've built out and stuff like that. And these were all people. Unfortunately, Strife was on hospice and stuff like that. So these decisions were still able to be made while he was still with us.
Yeah.
So we kind of laid out what our view of it looks like and like what we want to do as a team. And he kind of greenlit it or, put his 2 cents in. So that was also an interesting thing is to know that you're getting something and then, but still having the individual
being able to pass the torch.
Yeah. To pass the torch and like, kind of green light things and tell us if we're going the right direction. So yeah, a bunch of us doing that one, but the big reason why I think everybody should check it out. There's one thing that we really pride ourselves on, and that is that it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun
shows
thing
are good. The shows are good time.
You don't have to be a wrestling fan to enjoy it.
Yeah.
My wife hates wrestling. She only enjoys wrestling because we've been to the last 3 WrestleManias.
Yeah.
That's when she enjoys wrestling, is when she gets to go to WrestleMania.
Yeah, of course.
It's a trip. It's fun. But no, our fans aren't really wrestling fans. You don't have to be a wrestling fan to come enjoy it. Just go out and be like, I'm going to go have
Never
fun.
mind that the front row is always the same 8 people. But
yeah. So it's I want to go out and have fun. And through that, we have organically grown even since, he has passed because we do have more hands on. It was just him when he was around. Now there's more people, so obviously there's more hands on decks. There's more ways to grow it, but we've been able to organically grow our crowd because again, you don't need to be a wrestling fan. You just need to show up and have a good time.
Sure,
and that's literally all it is. And we really pride ourselves on that.
If I gave you $5, would you put Joey Anderson through a table?
You don't even have to pay me.
If somebody is thinking about getting into the health industry or working with supplements and they want to, if they're passionate about physical training and they're thinking, hey, I think I could maybe run a store, help be informative, what piece of advice would you give to somebody that's looking at getting into the industry?
I would say if you're looking to get into the industry, don't be swayed by fool's gold. Don't let the social media stuff fool you. Don't let all that happen. Understand things are marketing.
Yeah.
And just know your stuff. Because there's a lot of companies out there that are incredible at marketing.
Yeah.
Looks amazing. Products look awesome, but their products aren't anything. There you have it. Yeah. But their products aren't anything special. They haven't revolutionized anything. They're just super good at marketing. So just understand those kind of things, know trends. And if you do want to get into the business side, like, say own a store, own a gym, stuff like that, just buckle up because it's not rainbows and sunshine. It's not, there's a lot of ups and downs, especially when you're dealing retail, stuff like that. If you're doing a gym business, that's a membership-based business, you're going to deal with a bunch of ups and downs. You have to weather storms. You have to forecast. You have to see what's coming. Just understand the work and the undertaking that it requires. I will say I have 0 regrets. I mean, there's some days that I'm definitely yelling at clouds.
Sure.
But,
Out touching grass.
I have 0 regrets though. It's passionate. It's cool just being the guy and not having to answer to anybody.
Sure.
But but also surround yourself with people that you can lean on heavily, like Tim Rexius, the owner of Rexius Nutrition.
How big of a role does he play in your day-to-day business?
I wouldn't necessarily say day to day. Well, I guess actually tiny. I can say to a level he does because I was his corporate regional manager for 4 years. I worked my way up to there. I was with Rexius Nutrition Rexius corporate for about 4.5 years. And I was his right hand for a long time. So I learned a lot of things from him. I learned a lot of business from him. Where I say it affects our day to day would probably be the little things that he taught me in the store, like about customers and about, just the overall way that Rexius does things. But otherwise now, like as it pertains like business and that, like, he's always one phone call away. So I'm able to lean on him, ask him questions like, what do you think about this? Or what are you seeing and stuff like that. So it's good to have people around you.
Somebody wants to throw themselves off the ground and fall off ladders for a living. What piece of advice would you give to somebody that wants to break into the wrestling business?
It hurts.
Yeah.
And understand that it hurts.
Sure.
So, I mean, I think it's 2024. We're all very aware that
it may be choreographed.
It's choreographed.
Yeah.
But that's where that ends.
Yep.
Those chairs are real. Mm-hmm. Gravity is real.
Yeah.
All those stuff are real. But just understand that it's going to hurt and it's going to take a lot and it's going to take a lot of you. And then you got to ask yourself, how good do I want to be?
Sure.
Also understand your limitations. Not all of us are Rey Mysterio and can do flippies and stuff like that. That's just not who we are.
You're not doing a shooting star press.
You're not going to see me come off ropes, man. You're not going to see me jumping off the top.
Yeah.
So understand your limitations, but outside of that, just know the work that's going to require, and really just be honest with yourself what you want out of this. Under no way was my intentions to ever get signed or something like that. I broke in when I was 32.
Yeah.
Past, I'm long on the
Hey,
tooth.
DDP did it.
He's like the only one.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
He's more of an anomaly than he is anything. But
Let's go flip side of that then.
Yeah.
Let's say that the golden ticket does get cash. Your phone rings. It's Paul Levesque. We need you for WrestleMania 41. Who's the dream opponent?
well, first off, I would lose my mind if
Yeah.
Triple H called me. He's one of my idols. So
Sure.
My
Is
dream,
it him then?
Huh?
Anybody dead or alive? Is it him?
it would be him.
Yeah?
If
Okay.
I got to wrestle anybody, if somebody literally watched me and said you could wrestle anybody right now, it would honestly probably be Triple H.
I think that's who it would be for me too. Man.
So-
hey, we're kind of hitting the point here where we tend to shut it down for the day. Is there anything about Rexius Nutrition, West Dodge, or Exarban that people should know about that we haven't mentioned?
Yeah. We are a local company that obviously cares about the Omaha and cares about people's genuine health. So if you walk into a Rexius, if you walk into Rexius West Dodge, Rexius Exarban, our staff is going to be knowledgeable. We're going to know our stuff. We will do anything to help you, educate you, all that stuff. Our prices are competitive with the internet. We're very passionate about everything. We have a fit manager system, an in-body system to give you full body scans, basically any way to take out the guesswork to make things better for you. And we're always working towards that. And we're always like working with the community and stuff like that. We're very community first, like Exarban. We're always doing community events. We just did one last Saturday. I'm involved in a lot of networking groups with West Dodge. I do a lot of charity things. I donate to a lot of stuff like that. Part of my passion is honestly being an entrepreneur and being a business owner was the fact that at some point I knew I was going to be able to give back. I was going to be able to give to charities. I was going to be able to help these things. I just care about the community, honestly.
How much has networking benefited your business?
Quite a bit. Quite a bit. I'm not exactly my wife is the social butterfly. That's not exactly me.
Sure.
So it's taken. So
Was it difficult for you at first?
At first, it definitely was. I felt uncomfortable. I felt weird. I am not a suit wearing businessman.
Sure.
It's just I am who I am.
Part of the benefits of being a business owner.
Yeah, like it's just not who I am. So like I felt a little out of place at first, but then as you start to get to know people and you start to like meet people and stuff like that, it just grows from there. And they're just honest, genuine relationships. So and then when you get to working with other business owners, they want to help other business owners. So then it just kind of comes down to that. So
Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling is
that is tough. Do you want mine or do
Yeah,
you want
yours. Your
mine? My personal would be Stone Cold Steve Austin revolutionized the business. Triple H because
he is the business.
Yeah, he is the business. Is what he's doing right now, and like he molded a lot of what I do. That is tough, man. That Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, two more.
Ric Flair because it's Ric Flair. He's Ric Flair. I mean,
He is just, and he's still to this day,
just Ric Flair. He's forever.
Yeah.
As much as it pains me to say it, because I'm sure I'll rattle some cages. Hulk Hogan has to be on there because the business isn't what it is without Hulk Hogan.
I agree.
It'll probably pain
Definitely
me to
not
say-
from an in-ring standpoint or personally.
But what he did,
Yeah.
I loathe Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a horrible human. I don't like Hulk Hogan,
Yeah.
but I have to respect what he did for the business.
If you have any free time today, Google 30 minutes of Hulk Hogan lying. You'll be entertained. You'll be entertained.
It's the best.
You'll be entertained for a half hour. Hey,
Cornette ran a whole podcast where he just called out every lie. It was awesome.
Cody, I appreciate you doing this, man. If you are looking to get on a health journey or maybe you need some information on how you can be more fit in your life, check out Rexius Nutrition, West Dodge. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, catching up with a new business owner and getting in touch with the Omaha community here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast tomorrow at 11. We'll see you then.